What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ride and Dad channel, or welcome back. Either way, very glad to have you. I'm talking about why I went ahead and ditched my brand new Banks Performance fairing. But let's roll the intro first.
Riding down a YouTube channel, it's the riding down a YouTube channel, it's the riding down a YouTube channel, it's the riding down a thing that you
Alright, so right away, if you enjoyed that intro, please give me a thumbs up. If not, wait until the end of the video. I'm sure you're going to want to give it a thumbs up because Riding Dad produces some quality stuff here on YouTube. Alright, so Banks Performance Fairing. You guys have seen my install video. I'll link or do the card, YouTube magic here. I posted a anti-buffeting kit install with it, kind of an initial review as well. And speaking of which, actually, this headlight that you're going to be staring at the whole video is a new headlight. I just posted that video as well. Very cheap option for you, and so far very pleased with it. Time will tell how it holds up, but I have very high hopes, so check out that video as well. Anyway, yeah, so the fairing. Okay, so why did I get the fairing? Because I think that's important to explain why I got it, and then to explain why I don't have it anymore. So I got it for two reasons. One, to keep a lot of wind off of my chest area, to relax my shoulders more instead of, constantly pulling yourself on the bars. And then two, because I really liked the way it looks. So there's a lot of different fairing styles. I went ahead and went with the T-Sport style because although I like the way the Memphis shades look, I like the way the T-Sport style looks even better. And then on top of that, everybody has the Memphis shades, and you guys know if you've watched any of my stuff before, I like being a little different, not just for the sake of being different, just for the sake that Harleys are, there's so many Harleys that look the same anyway, and especially having a black Lowrider S, I just want to do things that just set my bike apart, from everybody else's. So that's what I've been trying to do so far, within reason. I'm not going to do anything weird that sets my bike apart just because, just for the sake of being different while using crappy parts. I don't ever try to do that. But anyway, so when I got it, you guys saw the install, or hopefully you saw the install or review or anything. Quality of the fairing was really good. I will tell you that immediately the wind from, the wind noise, very, very, very reduced. The wind on my chest and upper body and everything like that, stressing out my shoulders and arms and stuff, way reduced as well. There was almost no wind up, aside from the wind coming up, which is natural, obviously, on my chest and torso area. So that all being said, you guys are probably like, well, if it did what you wanted, why are you not using it anymore? So buffeting. I went back and forth many times with Banks Performance. They helped me out a ton. They were everything you would want, from a customer service end of a product. Super responsive. They offered to make me some custom pieces for it and everything if something worked out. But I tried some temporary fixes so they didn't have to fabricate anything to see if that would fix it. And long story short, nothing took care of my buffeting 100%. Now, right now, I use a Corsair X helmet by Arai. My past helmet was a Bellstar MIPS. I no longer use the Bellstar MIPS because the Arai, I feel, is light years ahead as far as comfort and ventilation. So the Bell went to storage, and I didn't even think about it anymore. However, it was brought up to me by Banks and a couple other people like, hey, just for the hell of it, try a different helmet if you can, just to see if that fixes it or whatever. So, it kind of did. So I tried the Bellstar MIPS on, and it helped a lot. I didn't have any buffeting at all in the best position. After playing with it a million times, I found the best position that worked for me with the Arai. And then as soon as I put on the Bell, it reduced all the buffeting up until like your upper spectrum of your highway speeds, like 75, 80-ish. So that being said, you're probably like, well, why don't you just change helmets? Well, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Arai, it is around a $800 or $900 helmet. I don't know what it's at now. I bought it like a year ago, but I love the helmet. Not only was it expensive, so I'm not going to be switching anytime soon, but it's super comfortable. I mean, just putting on the Bell after I had worn the Arai, it's like light years ahead of the Bell. Like, at least that specific Bell that I have is, you could just feel the just the quality of the cushion and everything like that. The Arai feels like you're putting on a nice comfy pillow, and it's gonna protect you and make sure your head's all nice and cushiony. And then the Bell is like, here's this piece of plastic, put it on your head. That's the way it feels. And that's coming from the Arai to the Bell. Now, when I had that Bell originally, I thought it was like, oh, this is a pretty decent helmet because I didn't really know any better. And now, unfortunately, I'm an Arai fanboy like everybody else that's ever tried an Arai is. And I used to be a naysayer. I'm like, there's no way it's worth that much money. I'll rock my Icons and my Bells. And anyway, long story short, I'm not gonna switch from the Arai. And in addition to that, the only other helmet I would even consider right now when the Arai is, expires pretty much, and it's kind of time to buy a new one in several years, would be the Simpson. I think it's like the Bandit or whatever, not the modular one, but the typical, Dynabro Simpson that everybody rocks. I like the style of that helmet. I've heard really good things about it. So I really I wouldn't be opposed to trying that. And the fact that it's, a third less of the price of the Arai, or almost a half less, is obviously a really good selling point as well. So if I found a helmet that worked like the Bell did with it, would I be locked into that Bell the whole time? Like for the whole time I had that fairing? I don't know. I want to be free to choose whatever helmet I want in the future. Maybe Arai is going to come out with this, incredibly different helmet in 5-6 years that I'm going to be like, I need to have that. Or Simpson, I need to have it. Whatever the case is, I don't want to be locked into one helmet. So for those of you thinking, why didn't you just use the Bell and shut up and not post this video? That's why. I don't want to be locked into one helmet or one style of helmet forever. So then the other thing that is pretty interesting, that it was almost like a hindsight's 2020 kind of thing. When, like I said, the wind feeling and everything was cut off of the chest, and there was a little bit, picking up from the sides and everything like you always have with a fairing of that style. So it was nice in the aspect that it wasn't stressing the body out. In longer rides, you wouldn't be pulling yourself and fighting the wind all the time, which it's not like I was like having a heart attack trying to stay on the bike. But you guys, if you've ridden, you understand that there is a little bit of fatigue associated in your shoulders and your back, fighting the wind the whole time, especially going like highway speeds for long periods of time. So all that being said, even though there was it pretty much cut down that feeling of force of wind and everything like that, and the noise in the helmet went down a lot, obviously, because you don't have a wall of wind hitting you. But something I did realize, even it was only like mid 80s one day and going somewhat slow, and by somewhat slow I mean like 45, 50. So not highway, but not 20, 30. Obviously 20, 30 around town, like in residential areas, you're barely gonna have any wind flow anyway, so not that, but regular 45, 55, 40, around the 50-ish mark. Really, because of that loss of wind flow, which is what the fairing's supposed to do, I got hot really quick. And that is a problem because in Florida, although the plus is, I guess you can argue that we are able to ride year-round, the gigantic downside to that is that more than half of the year is in the high 90s, and it's miserable. You guys have heard me complain about Florida all the time in the heat, and it sucks. So that was kind of a, I'll buy it and try it out kind of thing. It was in the back of my head. I thought it would be okay, especially if there was a lot less wind coming in your face. I could always crack the visor and stuff. But I think long term, especially in the really high 90s, when you just want to, jump in a block of ice, I think that would have really made me miserable, made me not enjoy the ride at all, just because of the loss of airflow. And airflow is really important to me. You guys just heard me talk about why I switched to a double as expensive helmet as my Bell, because of airflow in the cranium area for that helmet. So all that being said, would I recommend the Banks Performance fairing now, having taken it off of my bike? Yes, I would still recommend it. There was a plethora of things that go into why I had buffeting with it. 1, my seating position. 2, my height. 3, helmet. 4, bike. 5, seat. There's just a whole bunch of different things. I think for they have gone up in price a little bit since I made my initial video, so I don't know offhand what they are now, but some people were giving me some feedback, and I believe right now the lowrider kit is more expensive than what you would pay for a Memphis Shades like all-inclusive bundle. So that being said, it's still a good kit. If you compare it to stuff like the JD Customs kit, you're gonna save a couple $100 from what it is. The nice thing about that for the Lowrider S specifically also is that it comes with everything you need to plug and play with the stock headlight. You guys should watch my install video if you are curious about anything like that. But yeah, it comes with everything you would need to take a completely stock Lowrider S with no extra trips to the hardware store or, you know, eBay buying or anything like that. Put this whole fairing kit on it and be ready to go. Yeah, it just didn't work for me. And I have a feeling with my style and everything like that of seat, posture, helmet, and everything like that, there's a really good chance that a Benfis shades or something else wouldn't have worked either. I tried every position. Like I said, Banks Performance customer service was great. I would still recommend them. I actually have mine for sale. If you really want it, just send me a message or like a comment on this saying you want it, or check out my Instagram and send me a DM. I am in the process of boxing it up. There was, like I said, nothing wrong with it. It's never been dropped. Everything is good with it. So I am gonna be trying to sell that to somebody who actually wants it and will be able to use it. And for right now, I'm gonna rock the headlight. I'm debating, you see I have the Moons adapter to use this bucket with, again, this headlight that I did post a video about. You guys could watch that at a different time. But I'm debating on getting the top mount from Cruci Originals. I like the way it looks a lot. So yeah, I'm debating on getting something like that for the bike. I think that'll make it look really good. I'm also debating on getting some new risers, bars, a full one-piece T-Sport bar. You know, for those of you unfamiliar with what it is, it's a riser and bar combo. It's all one piece. There's no clamps or anything like that. I'm thinking about getting one of those. And looking at raising my overall bar height about 2 inches and raising the, or bringing the pullback closer to me by about 1 inch as well, with the setup I'm looking at. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think my clutch cable will actually be okay with that setup. I might have to get a new one, but whatever, they're not too expensive. And the Magnum Research cables I really like a lot. I obviously already have all of the electronic extensions. So the only thing I would have to change would be my brake cable and possibly my clutch cable. But anyway, that's about it for the video. I want to be upfront and honest with you guys. And yeah, Banks didn't pay me to say like, hey, even though you didn't use your fairing, can you please recommend us? They didn't ask me to do that. They didn't pay me or nothing stupid or crazy like that. Then I genuinely feel like the fairing is good. The kit is good. It blocked, I mean, it did exactly what it's supposed to do. It blocked a ton of wind. Had I had that Bell helmet the entire time, I may have been okay the entire time because, like I said, it was just a slight amount of buffeting around the high-speed highway, like a higher top end of highway speeds. So that slight amount of buffeting I could have lived with for sure. It's just for whatever reason, the Corsair X did not jive with this fairing setup, and it could not jive with any fairing setup that I would have tried for my height, my riding position with the seat and this bike and everything. Who knows? But yes, if you want it, let me know. If not, that's fine. I'm gonna, you know, check out some M8 buy sell pages on Instagram, whatever. But just know that as of now, I am still having it. I haven't even boxed it up to sell or anything like yet. But it is good. It looks really good. And yeah, that's about it. You guys have heard me talk about a bunch of different videos that I have done and plan on doing for the Lowrider S. There is a playlist devoted on my YouTube channel on my playlists tab for the Lowrider S build. Right over there, out of camera, is a Honda Grom, well, I guess now a second gen because the third gen is out, but the SF, not the OG, and I don't even know what they're calling the new one anymore, but I have a whole build series devoted to that. I have a big bore kit in that, pretty extensive stuff that I've done to that bike. And right now I have a nail in the back tire, so that sucks. But you guys look forward to a how to patch a motorcycle tire video coming up soon. For those of you who have never done it and want to see how it's done. So that is it. Please check out my Instagram. Go ahead and send me a DM and say, hey, I found you on, from YouTube and I'm checking over or whatever. I enjoy interacting with you guys very much. Please leave a comment on this video. Let me know what your thoughts are on this whole fairing versus no fairing debacle I have going on right now. I don't know what you guys think, but I think bikes with just the front headlight actually look pretty sick. My Dyna had that, my old school Dyna, and I think it's like a nostalgic thing for me, like bringing me back to those days of my first Harley purchase. But yeah, Really like the way it looks right now. Other than that, guys, I got nothing else for you. Just watch one of the videos that are on the screen wherever I decided to put them today. And until the next time, guys, ride safe, have fun. Dad out.